what made us decide to go pioneering, Daniels and I read the 5-year plan and from the Universal House of Justice, and felt this plan was really important. So we thought that we should really make a move now while we're young enough to do it. And also I ran a few scenarios through my head as to what I wanted to look back on after I've passed to the next world. And was it, having a good career, or having a nice house, my dream house, or having a good car, going for holidays, or going pioneering and being obedient to the house. The next question is, what was your best support while at your pioneering post? And I would say the best support that we've had while being here is prayer. Daniel and I focus on daily devotionals and saying the fire tablet of Ahmad, long healing prayer for when we need to keep ourselves going if we're struggling, because being on our own here, trying to meet the goals of the plan is quite, difficult, I would say, because an intensive program of growth to develop that on your own is a bit of a hard ask, really. I don't imagine that we're going to meet that goal on our own, so all we can do is pray at the moment. We've linked up with the Wheatbelt Baha'is. There's 2 pioneering families there that we're good friends with, so we meet on Skype and say prayers together and just discuss how things are going in our area, and just chat and be friends with each other, and that really keeps us going. Can also talk to council whenever we need to, so that's mainly what keeps us going here. Because we're on our own, we don't have any other Baha'is around that we can talk to about teaching, or close family or friends. So it's mainly on Skype or on the telephone, or saying prayers together. So what was one of the most challenging aspects while we've been pioneering, and how did I overcome it? Probably one of the most challenging aspects for me personally was moving to Carnarvon, because it was at the bottom of the list of places I would like to live. We were living in Kalbarri for a short time, and my son wasn't well, and we went there to look after him. And then as he got better, we were thinking about where we would go. So I did happen to come to Carnarvon to give someone a lift home, and went to Mangala village to help with children's classes, and loved the kids out there. And then we went back a couple more times, I think just came up here specifically for that. And that was when, around the time the plan came out, and I talked to an ABM, and she suggested we move to Carnarvon. And I asked her about a few other towns, because we've been offered full-time work in other towns, but she said no, Carnarvon was the goal area. So we moved here without any money, and I know it's a hot, windy, dry, isolated area, and for me coping with the heat is always a struggle, and coping with the isolation can be tricky. Get a bit depressed sometimes about it, but we just decided to move forward and focus on what I wanted to see at the end of my life, and how I wanted my life to look. I'd always read the stories from the early pioneers in America, Martha Root, and Dorothy Baker, and always admired them and thought that they were something to aspire to. So even though this is not on that level, it's at least we're being obedient to the house to move out and to try and meet the goals of the plan. So we've overcome things. We've found a house, nice house to live in just out of town. We've got making some friends. We've both got work. So things are settling down, but we still don't think we'll reach the goals of the plan until we get other pioneers to Homefront Pioneer and come and join us and become part of a teaching team so we can work together to meet the goals. And that's what we're really hoping for with this video, is people will feel inspired to move as well and take the courage and just do it, because there will be no regrets in your life. So what would you say to someone who is considering pioneering? I would suggest that you speak to the council about, or your ABM, and ask them which areas they need pioneers, because they did have a list at the talk in Perth, and they have put it out, I think, also in the regional reflections about what areas, how many people they need to move to certain areas, which will be a help. And we gave out, all the pioneers gave their input into that as well, so it's we know how many people we really need to at least get started. I mean, obviously we'd love to have more come. Also, if you travel to the area first and have a look around and look at work, or look at rental properties or real estate, see what you think about it, just get a feel for it. If you've got kids, bring them up and visit the schools. Obviously go to an area where there are other pioneers there. We found if you go to an area where there's no one, it's really too difficult to meet these goals. So we really need people to move to an area where there's already 1 or 2 families living, where you can help with the work. And then we've got a little community as well to support each other, which is always nice. And you can hook into the activities straight away, which makes it much easier too. You don't have to get things started on your own, because to meet the local people and all that takes quite a bit of time. Consider in your life what obstacles are in your mind as to why you won't leave, like your job or your family or your grandchildren. Hear that one all the time. Or your health, or you haven't got enough money, or you don't know what to do, or you don't think that you'll be useful. These are all reasons that people give, but really when you look at it, they're not really reasons, they're just worries that you have, and everyone has those. So you just don't focus on that, just focus on where you'd like to go and get your support from the council and from ABMs and from the pioneers in that area, and you'll find that things will just, and say lots of prayers of course, and things will work out for you. And don't hesitate, because this plan is already past 1 year and we are desperately needing people to come now as quickly as they can. I'll finish with a prayer. This is from teaching from Abdul Bahar, and it's a prayer for overseas pioneers, but it's very relevant to Homefront pioneering as well. Confirm, moreover, thy loved ones, those who, leaving their homelands, their families and their children, have, for the love of thy beauty, travelled to foreign countries to diffuse thy fragrances and promulgate thy teachings. Be thou their companion in their loneliness, their helper in a strange land, the remover of their sorrows, their comforter in calamity. Be thou a refreshing draught for their thirst, a healing medicine for their ills, and a balm for the burning ardour of their hearts. Verily thou art the most generous, the Lord of grace abounding, and verily thou art the compassionate and the merciful. Abdul Baha.